that I have talked about till I'm blue in the face. Folks, I had been taking proton pump inhibitors, acid reflux, GERD for a long time. I learned from Andrew that my stomach was having challenges when it came to populating friendly flora because of those things that I was taking. He urged me a couple years ago to start taking this, and I have not looked back. It's called Ultimate Friendly Flora. It's Andrew's most powerful of his Friendly Flora products. Isn't it 5 times more powerful than the original?
The original was 5 billion with a B, not 5 million. 5 billion. This is 25 billion. So it's 5 times more potent. And I was talking to someone earlier today about this, and our approach is different. A lot of folks get caught up in all these fancy strains because there's thousands of obscure strains that make up our population of flora in our body. Literally thousands of strains. But the science and research focus on the most visible of those strains, the most obvious of those strains, and that's what really defines a healthy microbiome, the environment within us. And if you think that microbiome isn't important, there are more cells of these friendly probiotic organisms in our body. If our body is healthy, then we have our own cells. I'll repeat that. There are more cells of in this microbiome, these friendly probiotic organisms in a healthy body than there are our own cells. There's more genetic material that they possess in our body than we possess. So they are really part of us, and our digestive system, our immune system is absolutely dependent upon that healthy microbiome. And again, just if you look at ours, they're familiar names, and they should be familiar names. If you need to take something for some special purpose, because you hear there's different probiotics for depression or for ADHD and things like that, it's just I leave that to others to make those kinds of medical claims for probiotics, but simply straightforward. These are the probiotic organisms that healthy digestion, healthy immune system, healthy human bodily function requires. Lactobacillus acidophilus, and again, we use specific strains that have been validated in the science. So Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus plantarum, the Lactobacillus salivarius, and then lastly, the Bifidobacterium lactis, and 2 different strains of those, but all combined over 25 billion colony-forming units per capsule. When I first introduced a probiotic long ago, we were dealing in the 500,000 to 1 million colony-forming units, and it had to be refrigerated, and it was a nightmare to deal with. Now, you don't have to worry about refrigeration, and you get the organisms that can make a difference. And as I said before, the start of healthy digestion is enzymes. But really, the composition of a healthy digestive system starts with probiotics. And then we feed our healthy probiotics with healthy foods. The best foods are things like cruciferous vegetables. That's what our body would love to eat frequently. Maybe we don't, but our body would. And the probiotic organisms love them as well. Things like legumes, things like nuts and seeds, legumes, whether it's peas or lentils, those are things that are really wonderful for the friendly flora in our body. So you populate with something like this. And again, our world is so sterilized, so antiseptic, that we need to be conscientious and conscious of the requirement of a balanced microbiome within us, because again, they outnumber us, and they're either our friends, which we want them to be, or otherwise, and we prefer they be the friendly flora in our body.
And Andrew, just we'll wrap up if we may and go over to Choco Nouveau, but you know, you had the greatest impact on me a while ago when you discussed, and you know, my situation as well, antacids or proton pump inhibitors, we're taking things that are upsetting the pH.
We need to be, many of us think, and I won't get on this because this is something to talk to your doctors about, many of us pop those proton pump inhibitors like candy. The most important thing you could do is to make the changes in the way you eat, the foods you eat, when you eat, maybe having your pillow angled up a little bit so you don't need those PPIs, because those PPIs change the environment of your digestive system. In so doing, they interfere with healthy digestion. They interfere with the proper balance of flora. So you should work with your doctor or a nutritionist or a dietitian to not depend on these things. These are not harmless drugs. Drugs come with side effects, and there's a long list of side effects that those proton pump inhibitors, because many of us take them for years and years on end, are associated with. So you want to make sure you do do something, and there's all sorts of things you could do for those symptoms as you're taking the proton pump inhibitor, so you eventually eliminate them. So I digress, but talk to your doctor about that.
It's one of the things I would not be without. I think at this time, Andrew, it's time for a chocolate break. I mean, we've been at this now for nearly an hour. Some chocolate to